good people? Thank you for tuning into WTF Too, Women Talk Football Too. It's your girl, Latasha Miles, a.k.a. Joan Madden, the Gridiron Goddess of SheSPN, the network. And before getting started, let me take a moment to shout out my lovely, talented, very, very intelligent co-host. Introduce yourself to the people.
I am Shalika McCrimmon, formerly known as the Touchdown Tomboy. You guys, I'm so excited about this week. We finally got football is here.
Hallelujah.
Oh my God, week 1 is here. Y'all ready? Because I'm ready. I'm definitely ready. You ready, girl?
Absolutely, no doubt. Yes, ma'am. Week 1 was very exhilarating. What a way to kick off the season. Finally, after a long off season, a hot summer, finally back to the most wonderful time of the year. Now, I know Andy Williams was talking about Christmas in that song, but I strongly disagree. I definitely think it's football season is the most wonderful time of the year. Right, Tom? Touchdown, Tomboy?
You know it, girl. Ain't nothing like some pads hitting on the pavement, on the turf, and just the guys out there doing what they do, man. I love it. Seeing those arms flex, those butt muscles get moving. Woo, girl, yes.
Uh-oh, I hope your husband wasn't listening to that far, but I think he understands. He'll give you a pass, right? He ain't gonna trip, right?
He'll be okay. He know I don't mean no harm. He knows I just love everything about the sport.
Absolutely.
He knows it.
Absolutely. He got himself a winner, that's for sure. We need more like you. That's definitely the case. So we had lots of action in week 1 as it concluded with a thriller in New Orleans, a thrashing in New England, blows thrown, players ejected, you name it, like Shirley Caesar said. I mean, we had a little bit of everything in week 1. So we kicked things off, of course, on last Thursday, like the oldest division rivalry in the NFL, the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. What a way to start with the division rivalry. Maybe not necessarily the type of score or action that we were looking for, or maybe you were, if you were looking for a defensive battle. But let's go on ahead and kick it off, though, with this segment here. This is the first quarter. We're going to talk about the biggest surprises, the most pleasant surprises that we got from week 1. Touchdown Tomboy, what were your thoughts on the biggest surprises from week 1?
Let me tell you something. The Tennessee Titans came to play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They put the Browns on their butt. They gave them some humble pie. Like oh my God, the defense was hitting. The offense was hitting. Like they just came firing on all cylinders. And I had to sit back and be like, whoa, is this a fluke? Or is the Tennessee Titans going to be that team this year? Like, and we just sleeping on them, maybe just a tad. I'm like, man, Derrick Henry doing this thing. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that because I honestly, well, of course, this was before Nick Foles got hurt and everything, but I was looking at Tennessee as maybe being like one of the bottom of the barrel teams in the AFC South. I think it's the most competitive division, and before Andrew Luck had that abrupt retirement, I was really, really unsure about Tennessee, but I really think they made a statement. I mean, I love Delaney Walker's response with, everybody was crowning Cleveland, like Dennis Green, the late great Dennis Green, and said, you want to crown them, then crown they beeps, and Delaney Walker had the perfect response to that, kind of emulating what Denny Green had said, because we honestly had crowned Cleveland, and Delaney Walker was kind of saying, like, eat your words on that. We came out here and we made a statement here. And you guys kind of have to eat a little bit of crow because, yeah, they made Cleveland look really, really discombobulated. They look like the Cleveland Browns, the same Cleveland Browns that we had always known. I also think, in addition to that, I was really, really surprised by the Minnesota Vikings because of how disappointing they had been. I mean, they had signed Kirk Cousins to this big contract, and I just felt like, okay, this is going to be... It was a bad contract signing, too much money for him. He really hadn't shown me anything, and I kind of thought Atlanta was gonna come in. They're playing in the dome like they do at home, so having that familiarity. Julio Jones had finally re-signed, so I kind of thought that Atlanta was gonna do a better job, but Minnesota really, really surprised me because there was some uncertainty on my end in knowing, like I said, just kind of how they were going to do. A very disappointing season last year, not making it to the playoffs. Kirk Cousins getting that big contract. So I really was caught off guard about how Minnesota did there. I don't all the way trust Matt Ryan anyway, but still I was really, really pleasantly surprised by what the Minnesota Vikings did in starting off their season with 1-0 as well.
About that because we had talked about it, and I told you that Minnesota was one of my sleeper teams.
Right.
This year.
Absolutely.
And so I wasn't surprised at all but you know what I was surprised at? is that Dalvin Cook is the
Yeah.
man. Dalvin Cook is doing his thing out in Minnesota, and we've never known Minnesota to really have a running game like that.
Exactly.
But they did it on foot yesterday, and I was super surprised at that. Like, Kirk Cousins didn't even really have to throw because they had over almost 200 yards and just rushing on the ground, which means that Atlanta really, really needs to work on their defense because they just pulverized them into the ground. They just ran on them, and that's not typical of Minnesota.
Right.
So to do that and to see Dalvin Cook healthy and just running like he was
Right.
running and just doing what he does, man, it was just, I just loved it. I loved every moment of it. It did not surprise me. I think Atlanta is exactly who I thought they were. And it's like I told you before, I just don't see Atlanta can never be consistent to me. I think for as many weapons as Matt always has, that they never surprise me when they don't do good.
Well, no, but see, they had a really, really, they had a huge impact in the offseason by getting 3 more offensive linemen. They were finally going to be healthy in their running game. I mean, it's kind of like Dan Quinn. Like, now you've been there a few more years. There's a little bit of consistency with that. And I kind of just am waiting for Atlanta to have like a breakthrough of, okay, we still need to prove to people that 28-3, that giving that up, like, they still haven't gotten over that. And I kind of think, like, okay, y'all are due. So I don't know. I was just really, really thinking that Atlanta would do better. But you're right about Minnesota as far as them being a sleeper and everything. They better do something with Kirk Cousins having $94 million, and maybe that is the formula. Just feeding those running backs. Or otherwise he's gonna have to pay back some money.
Right. I mean, but they look awesome.
Definitely.
But let's talk about some of this. While we're talking about running backs, let's talk about the running back quarterback from the Ravens.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson out there doing it with his arm this
Absolutely.
week.
But
because everybody has been worried, can he be an accurate passer? And although they were playing the bottom of the barrel, the Dolphins, who are the worst team in the league by far, I mean, he went out there striking with his arm, and I think he's showing people, look, I can be a dual threat quarterback. So what do you think about that?
But see, that didn't surprise me. I actually, when Louisville came, the year that he won the Heisman, when Louisville came to Carolina, they came to Chapel Hill, and we actually were sitting in a suite on the 50-yard line, and we saw Lamar Jackson. Yeah, there was a lot of running, but I felt like the reason why he ran the ball was because Carolina could not stop the run. You see what I'm saying? I only feel like he was one-dimensional in that case because that's the advantage. Like, why I need to throw on him? They can't stop me in running, so I'm going to go with that. I never for one moment doubted that Lamar Jackson couldn't throw the ball, so Lamar Jackson's performance did not surprise me. Even though I do not like the Ravens because they're a divisional rival, I'm going to always root for Lamar Jackson, and I appreciate him running Joe Flacco out of town because I felt like Joe Flacco was an overrated quarterback anyway, and they shouldn't have gave him all that money after the Super Bowl. So, like, I wasn't really surprised. I was more impressed, and again, this is coming from someone who does not like the Baltimore Ravens. I've liked Ed Reed, I've liked Ray Lewis, and now I'm rooting for Lamar Jackson. But yeah, more impressed than surprised from the Baltimore Ravens. So, but let's go into the biggest disappointments, though. Moving on to the second quarter here of WTF Too, the biggest disappointments from Week 1, and I mean, I already know who you're gonna say, which I'm gonna say them as well. But I'll still let you go ahead and start off because there were so many big disappointments in Week 1. I mean, it's like a grocery list, like just checking them off. So many big disappointments in Week 1. But touchdown, Tomboy, who do you got on the top of your list with biggest disappointment?
My biggest disappointment had to be the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield threw 3 interceptions in 1 quarter. Like, what in the world is going on? The defense that they worked all summer to beef up and get them together, they just looked discombobulated. I mean, the offense was not clicking. They looked like a bunch of deer in headlights. Even Landry was very unprofessional. And it's like, what happened? Like, but I can guarantee you this. That humbling, I can guarantee you that they're not going to come out like that anymore. Next week, they're going to come to play. I really believe that.
Interesting. Well, they definitely do need to rebound. I mean, the fans were upset. The fans, like, it was empty in the stadiums the third quarter. They were booing. I mean, the fans do deserve better, and they were at home too. But again, I guess it was one of those things where Tennessee was just flying under the radar. Like Delaney Walker said, we had crowned Cleveland, and they came out and they showed improve on Sunday. But of course, I mean, because I'm unbiased, I have to go with my Pittsburgh Steelers as being the biggest disappointment. Like, I'm a realistic fan, so I'm not necessarily saying I had penciled us in to win. I did think like, oh wow, finally no drama, nobody's talking about us, and that's usually when we do the best. But we actually laid an egg, and it's um, I, like New England played like the last time they lost to us. Like, they're like their last loss was against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they owned them. Like, we're gonna make you guys realize that was like, you just beat us back in December. It's not happening tonight. Like, it's not gonna happen. And the thing is, because New England took such a big lead early, Connor was doing a good job running, but we had to abandon the run because we had no points. And then you got like Moncrief dropping passes and Ben having some accuracy issues. I was just really, really disappointed from top to bottom. The defense looked absolutely like, were y'all some holograms? I mean, I was so stunned and shocked. I actually turned it to Bravo to look at Wendy Williams talk to Andy Cohen like in the third quarter. And them was my boys.
You know what was crazy is I thought police Pittsburgh would come out and make a statement saying, it's fine, we don't need Le'Veon, it's fine, we don't need AB, and they did just the opposite. And so now it's making me think, even though they were prima donna players, was it a good idea to let those boys go? Because it didn't look like y'all had any life on offense. The defense looked like it didn't know what it was doing. Big Ben looked like I had no, Juju did absolutely nothing. It was just, I was just shocked. I mean, I knew New England played very well. They've been playing very well for a long time now. And so, it was just like, oh my God, I just didn't think I thought that Mike Tomlin would be able to coach them into a better second half. Mm-hmm. And they came out just as flat in the second half as they did first half. And I was just really surprised because I thought that they were going to come out and say, you know what, we're tired of people saying, talking about Le'Veon and AB, we're moving on, and this is how we're going to show you we're moving on. And they didn't do that. They did exactly the opposite, which is why they're still going to be a part of the headline, which is why their fans are still mad, saying they shouldn't have let them go. So, hey, that's my thought process about that.
I mean, the only thing is, like, don't get me wrong, the talent is there with both of those players, but like, we kind of need a drama-free, a non-tumultuous, like, these guys were turning into like TOs in Philly, and it became more about that TO doing sit-ups in the driveway and Drew Rosenhaus saying next question, and it became more about that than the essence of the game. And that part we don't need. Now, to say that we don't need them is, like, on the field, their talent, that's ridiculous. But at the same time now, AB didn't win no games in week 1 neither, and neither did Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell was up by 16 points, and they lost. Yeah. Pittsburgh never had a lead. So it's kind of like, everybody was 0-1, with excluding AB because he didn't play. But it was a scratch. Even though he didn't lose week 1, he didn't win either. So all three of them kind of got donut holes in the W column this past week. So I don't know, but we'll have to see how it goes. Again, it's very early in the season. Too soon to really, really like lay out everything, the whole scope of things, but definitely week 1 was a testament of showing that Pittsburgh definitely needed to have those guys on the field, or at least the other players. This was a great time for the other players to step up and make AB and Le'Veon forgettable, and they did not do that whatsoever. All right, so for halftime entertainment, the touchdown Tomboy, with her knowledge and her being able to break down and her scope on things, she's going to take over the program here with the halftime entertainment for you all, ladies and gentlemen. So touchdown Tomboy, take it over.
All right, ladies, this one is just for you. So, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I was talking to one of my closest friends, and, I was telling her, she knows that I love football, and she was like, girl, and I was talking about a first down, and she was like, a first down? I don't even know what an offense is and what defense is. So we're going to talk about offense, and we're going to talk about defense, what the offensive line does, what the defensive line does. Mm-hmm. So offense is basically whatever team has the ball, whoever is in possession of the ball, that team is playing offense. Whoever does not have the ball, that team is on defense. So the people that protect, of course, the quarterback is like the captain of the ship. Everybody knows who the quarterback is. So
Right.
that line that's in front of the quarterback, that's protecting the quarterback, that's called the offensive lineman. It's their job to protect him, to make sure that ship don't sink no matter what, okay? That's what you're looking for. You're going to make sure that those guys out front are protecting him no matter what. They're going to make sure that ship is going to sail no matter what. And it's the defensive line, the people that are in front of that offensive line, the defensive line, it is their job to make sure that captain sinks. Okay, so their job is to solely get at the quarterback and discombobulate whatever offensive scheme they got going on. So that's it for today, ladies. Okay, so you have offense, the team that has the ball; defense, the team that doesn't. Okay, the offensive line, they protect the quarterback. The team that's trying to get to the quarterback to sack him and discombobulate whatever plan they got going on to score, that's the defensive line. I hope that works out for you. Have any questions, then drop us the email, of course, at Women Talk Football too. Back over to you, girl.
Touchdown Tomboy dropping that knowledge, hopefully clearing up some confusion for you ladies, or maybe even some gentlemen as well, who don't really know the difference between offense and defense. Appreciate that insight, that nugget there. That's going to help you guys a long way throughout the season. So as we go over to the third quarter now, we kind of alluded to it already with Antonio Brown. Of course, we did not see him in week one just based off of policies and procedures. But he is eligible to play week two. And my goodness, Miami, if you didn't already have it bad enough with that trouncing at home against Baltimore, now you face the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots with their arsenal of Josh Gordon, Julian Edelman, and now adding the addition of Antonio Brown. So my goodness, I tell you, Miami, it really doesn't. At least you got good weather in the city. That's about all we can give you there. But yeah, so Antonio Brown, the saga is over with him in Pittsburgh. A quick, very, very abbreviated saga in Oakland. But what do you expect from the Patriots this season now that they have definitely are moving on to week two with Antonio Brown on the roster, a healthy Antonio Brown on the roster?
Let me tell you something. The Patriots look good without Antonio Brown. I don't know how much better can they get with him. Like, I'm almost scared. Is it almost like, to me, it's almost like looking at, like, and I'd already told you, in fairness to me, I said, I already thought that the Patriots were the pick favorites to win just because the Patriots do what the Patriots does. But, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, I mean, how much more damage can they add to that offense? And you got Julian Edelman that already found a way. You got Bill Belichick paired with Tom. Now you have Josh Gordon. Now you have AB and Julian Edelman. I don't think they're going to be easy to stop. Like, I just see them going straight, based upon their division, just straight to the Super Bowl. Like, do not pass go. But they're going on through there.
All right, so the thing about the New England that scares me, it's not even the chemistry, because we got a Pro Bowler coming in. You see Josh Gordon, minus the suspensions, he gelled in very, very seamlessly. They also got on the low. They also got Jamie Collins back from Cleveland as well, in the New England Patriots, which I think that makes them more dangerous also. But here's the thing that, and this is me just keeping it real. Here's the thing that scares me about Antonio Brown going, and this ain't even about the talent part. Here's the thing that scares me about Antonio Brown with New England. There's one ball. And I'm wondering, Antonio Brown's biggest thing was, I'm not getting the ball enough. I want the ball more, where he was having double-digit catches a game and stuff. And that almost seemed like it still wasn't enough. He was starting to get mad because Juju was getting more looks and more receptions. So, Antonio, are you going to put aside now that you're with this Super Bowl team, a team who's groomed to possibly go back-to-back, can you put aside that, like, you might not always get the ball? White's going to get the ball sometime. Sony Michel's going to get the ball sometimes. Josh Gordon's going to get the ball. Edelman's going to get the ball. Burkhead's going to get the ball. So can you, like, set aside your pride and be a little bit more selfless and not combustible? Well, first of all, Bill Belichick ain't going to allow you to be combustible. But I'm saying, like, can you allow yourself to not have the ball all the time and put that aside for the sake of winning, for the sake of getting a ring? Or is it going to be a selfish act of, I want 100 catches this season, I want 15 touchdowns? Like Randy Moss had 23 touchdowns with them before. Is that what you're going after? Are you trying to achieve that? Because that's not going to work, not in this New England system where they play very, very selfless football. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the part that scares me, not the talent or anything.
But you know what? I do. But I understand exactly what you're saying, but I don't think that. Let me tell you why I don't think that. Because, okay, forget Pittsburgh. If he really wanted to be just a ball hog and it's just me, with AB, then to me, the best move would have been to be in Oakland. What other receivers did they have in Oakland besides AB? So if it was really all about just scoring touchdowns and getting the ball and being like just the showman of the man that ran the ship, Oakland was the perfect place for him to be.
But he never wanted to go to Oakland. Remember, he wanted to go to New England anyway, but New England didn't want to trade him to a rival.
And I understand that. And so what I think is I don't think that it was about the money. I actually think that AB wants a Super Bowl. And I think that he thinks that the Patriots are his best chance of doing that. That's why I think he foredid all of that. I think that's why he did a terrible job at being professional about it. And he did a terrible job going about getting what he wanted. But I think he wanted to be in New England simply because in his mind, he wanted to win a championship. And I can guarantee you he'll probably be a very different person on the Patriot roster simply because Bill Belichick
Right.
He doesn't accept that kind of behavior. He will not tolerate it. He's not going to do that in Patriot territory. He is going to conform to the rules and regulations there, and we won't hear a peep out of Antonio Brown until he's producing on the field. You watch it.
Well, I mean, that part, like I said, I'm just more so like, even if we don't really see it on the field, like, what if it comes up in team meetings? Because to me, Antonio Brown does seem like a guy who's like, I don't think that had anything to do with Pittsburgh location wise. I still think that he wants to be that superstar diva wide receiver. And now once upon a time, when like going to New England does not guarantee a ring, ladies and gentlemen. Like, let's be clear, because it didn't happen with Randy Moss the year that Tom Brady threw those 50 touchdowns, and Randy Moss had 23 of those 50 plus touchdowns, and Randy Moss did not get a Super Bowl. James Harrison did the same thing, and Philadelphia Eagles popped a pin in that balloon too. So like, what if somebody gets hurt? Like, I remember years ago, week 1, Bernard Pollard took out Tom Brady in week 1, and they went 11-5, but they didn't even make it to the playoffs. So like, we can't get caught up in the guarantees of, oh, this is going to get me a ring, because you just never know. I mean, it's any given Sunday, like the movie says. So I hope he didn't get so much caught up into that of like, this is going to get me a ring, as opposed to, this is the best team for me to showcase my talents. This is the best team for me to display that I am a great teammate, because he started losing some of that in Pittsburgh.
All right, let's just be honest, though. Let's just be honest. Nobody ever knows what AB is thinking on any given day. And I think we'll just have to see. That's just what I can tell you is based upon what I think. I think that he is gunning for a ring now. That's what AB is shooting for. And I think that he believes that the Patriots are his best chance to do that. And I think that's why he took that opportunity. And you got to remember, I don't think that he will be combustible, because his guarantee is dependent upon how he acts.
Right, well, he can't be, because he's playing with Belichick. All I'm saying is, I think it probably won't hit the surface like it did in Pittsburgh. Like, I still think that if he does not get the ball as much, he's still going to be unhappy. He's still going to vocalize that a little bit, maybe not so much and be as outlandish as he was. But if Antonio Brown's not getting the ball as much, I don't think he's going to be that happy. Josh Gordon is going to get the ball some too, because he's a more lanky receiver. He can do fade routes. Antonio Brown really can't do fade routes based off of his size, where Josh Gordon can. And I don't know. I feel like Josh Gordon's going to create more mismatches. Edelman's going to create more mismatches because him and Tom Brady have a little bit more familiarity. So if Antonio Brown is left out, like if he only has a game of 6 catches, like, don't go tripping. That's the only thing that scares me. Like I said, the talent is there. On paper, New England is set for it. But I just hope that Antonio Brown can understand that the bigger picture here is that don't trip.
But see, I think the way it is now is AB has put himself in a position that he can't trip.
Right.
He's going to be out of a job. And so I just think,
Okay.
you know, because everything, all the cards are in New England's hands because, you know, because of all the fits that he's thrown, other people don't want to deal with him now. And so
Right.
it's kind of like he's at the mercy of New England. So I just don't think that he'll be that person.
Well, I hope all of that he'll absorb all of that like a sponge. Oakland, of course, had a Monday night, the late Monday night game, and they actually went on to win a division game without Antonio Brown. So how do you think that they're going to do this season post Antonio Brown?
I think they'll still be bad, but maybe they'll win a couple of games. I feel bad for Derek Carr because I just feel like they're just not doing enough to protect them. I don't feel like they're doing enough to get him what he needs to be a successful quarterback, and I think that's why he flies under the radar. I think he's an excellent quarterback that he doesn't get, you know, the views that a lot of other quarterbacks get because nobody has built anything around him. So I think that'll be interesting to see, but I think the Raiders will underperform again this year, so that's just my thoughts.
I mean, I think they're going to struggle. It doesn't have anything to do with Antonio Brown. It's just that division is so stacked. I mean, you got the Chiefs, who went to the AFC Championship game last year. You got the Chargers, who won every road game in the regular season last year. They moved on from Lynch. There's a lot of new pieces there. To me, Gruden is not the same Tampa Bay Gruden. Derek Carr, I still don't think mentally he's over that injury that he caught the year that they were primed to go deep into the playoffs. He kind of reminds me of how Carson Palmer wasn't completely able to mentally get over that loss, like when he played for Cincinnati. Like there's still a little bit of timidness there, and that kind of stuff is like, so with or without AB, I don't feel like that had anything to do with or without AB being there. I'm just really concerned for Oakland, again, because of just how well the rest of the division is primed to do. So we'll definitely see how it goes. For the fourth quarter here, the conclusion here, let's go to week 2. What are you looking for? What do you have penciled in? What do you have highlighted as we go into week 2 as some of the things you're looking most forward to?
Oh, girl, you know I'm ready for Thursday night. Division rivals are playing, the Bucks and the Panthers, man. And I got to tell you now, the Panthers did not play bad on Sunday. They had a couple mistakes. They were pretty rusty in the first half. But I can see some life in that Panthers offense and defense. And I'm pretty excited. I think if Cam Newton can get out of his own mental space and really just give himself the opportunity that his body is really ready and is capable to do and perform at the level that he's trained himself, I think they might be on to something. I think based on some things that I've seen him say and heard him do, that he's mentally, you know, what you were talking about with Carson Palmer, he's stuck a little bit because he don't think that his arm is going to perform. But I think if he can get over that hump, man, they could have a bright season this year. And they came out swinging Sunday, and surprisingly, that should have been a blowout from the Rams. The Rams didn't look that great either. So, you know, I think that they held their own, and I think that they may be something to talk about this year.
Interesting. Yeah, I think like you were saying about the Panthers, I didn't expect the Rams to put up that many points. I mean, we're talking about a team who in the Super Bowl, I mean, were y'all dead or not? Like I couldn't believe that they had put up 30 points. It was definitely a revitalized offense. I really think that the Panthers could have and should have won. The DJ Moore fumbles were definitely very costly because the Rams got points off of them. But I think that I'm looking forward to the Panthers as well in week 2, because here's the thing. If they could just get to 500, especially with this division win against Tampa at home, they do get a 10-day break. And that's going to be huge for Cam to be able to kind of, you know, rest his lower body. Because, you know, part of the reason with the Panthers has been a lot of injuries. Olsen being hurt and Cam being hurt. Those are 2 big components right there. So I just feel like, yeah, if the Panthers can get out of this 0-1 hole and just bounce back to 500 on Thursday, they don't play again for another 10 days. That's going to be huge. Of course, they go on the road the next 2 games. They don't come back to Charlotte until October the 6th. But still, I just think that 10-day rest, that's going to be almost like a mini bye week. So I think that's going to be huge for them. Some of the other things I'm looking forward to on week 2, The Lions and the Cardinals, both of them tied. They had a week one tie, just like we had last year with Cleveland and Pittsburgh in week one. So I'm interested to see how they bounce back from the tie. The Cardinals, of course, go take on the Ravens. They visit the Ravens in this bird battle. And the Lions are going to host the Chargers. So I'm interested to see how these teams kind of bounce back from the tie. There's huge division games. Vikings traveling to the Packers. Cowboys traveling to the Redskins. Jaguars traveling to the Texans. So I'm really looking forward to the Bucks again against the Panthers. So a lot of huge divisional games in week 2. Very early in the season that could kind of set the tone and set the pace. The scheduling guys was not playing with this. Okay, the Packers are opening up with 2 divisional games. I mean, wow, this is unbelievable. You also have the Chiefs taking on the Raiders. The Raiders are opening up the season with 2 division games. And look, don't forget, we got the NFC Championship rematch as well. Saints visiting the Rams this time. So I don't know. Like,
that's gonna be very interesting.
Absolutely. So yeah, I know obviously the Saints with that thriller on Monday night, the way they won, a huge long field goal, Hopkins flexing and body slamming people. What a thriller! Yeah,
that was bananas. That
it
was
was.
bananas. Let me tell you though, the Texans came out swinging.
They really did.
I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson looked incredible.
They really did.
He looked incredible. He didn't look like he cracked under pressure at all. Like, he just looked incredible.
Right.
And I'm excited about the Texans this year. Like, I picked them to win my division, so I'm really excited about them because they look like they could do it.
Right. Now they get a Nick Foles-less Jaguars team coming to town as well in a division game. So probably looking to bounce back. A little bit bitter and upset off of how that game ended. But, you can never count out Drew Brees and Sean Payton.
Okay.
Yeah, so and I think that the Rams are going to avenge this particular, like, the NFC Championship game. I think they're going to avenge that loss there. What's interesting as well too, I don't think we've seen this in a while. The Browns actually have a Monday Night Football game.
Wow.
Yeah, they go against the Jets.
I think the Browns. Now, I will say that I think the Browns will not underperform this week. I think they come out swinging.
We know Odell, he's kind of going back home because the Jets and the Giants share this stadium. So he's very familiar. He's had a lot of walkthroughs there, had a lot of practices there. So he's got some favorite spots in that stadium. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to that week 1 trouncing as well. And, of course, the Sunday night game, the Eagles and Falcons, we've seen them play each other in recent years as well, in a dome. Eagles coming back from 17 points down in week 1, and then they're going to visit the Falcons. Shout outs to JD too, because JD will be at that game. What's up, JD? Good luck to y'all this weekend. So yeah, definitely gonna be interesting to see there. So lots on deck here for week 2. Lots to look forward to. Week 1 was definitely not a disappointment. We waited all the way since February. And week 1 pretty much gave us almost any and everything that we could ask for, including a tie.
Yes, it did. It did. We saw everything from ejections to incredible passes to injuries, everything that football brings, we saw it.
Absolutely.
It was just an awesome week 1.
And a good rookie quarterback play for Murray as well. So that was pretty amazing, even though they tied. So, yeah.
It was really, really good to see him. He came like that. He didn't even fret. Like, he was out there, no pressure. And I love the chemistry that him and Larry Fitzgerald have together.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Absolutely. It's amazing how Larry Fitzgerald is still so poised after 14 years. It's still, he does not miss a beat. He still hasn't missed a beat there. So amazing. So yeah, this is a great start to the NFL season for 2019. Man, this is amazing. This is great. So joined here again by my lovely, talented, and very knowledgeable, as you guys heard, co-host here, Shalika McCrimmon, aka the Touchdown Tomboy. Yes, this is going to conclude the first episode of WTF Too for the 2019 season, as we just wrapped up week 1. So we also wrapped up week 1 of our show this season. Make sure you guys tune in. We're on GSP in the network is the YouTube channel. WTF _2 IG on Instagram. You can reach out to us at Facebook. The email address is womentalkfootball2@gmail.com. Any questions, concerns, if your wife or girlfriend is struggling, we'll take care of her. Hit us up. Any type of advice, relationship advice during football season, plays, routes, all of that good stuff. we got you guys covered. So, Shalika, any shout outs? Touchdown Tomboy?
No, man. You can look me out up on Instagram, and I found my second win. Or you can look me up on Facebook. I go by my real name, Shalika McCrimmon. And I love to have you. Of course, we can talk football all day, all night. That's what I live for, baby.
No doubt. And this is your girl, Latasha Miles, a.k.a. Joan Madden, the Gridiron Guys. She ESPN the Network. On Facebook under Joan Madden. She _SPN on Twitter and IG. And again, it's at WTF _2 TOOIG. You guys make sure you hit us up there as well. We got merchandise. We got coffee mugs, t-shirts, hats, all that good stuff. WTF-2.com. Reach out to us. Appreciate all the ladies and the fellas rocking the gear. Appreciate all the support. You guys make sure you tune in each and every week during the 2019 NFL season for WTF Too, Women Talk Football 2, the podcast. Hit us up with your questions. We'd love to have you as guests. Anything of that nature, don't hesitate to hit us up. All right, we're going to kick this thing off for the rest of the season. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Touchdown Tomboy Gridiron Goddess, TTGG. Easy to remember there. Signing off for WTF2 when Women Talk Football 2.